Hello, everyone, and welcome to TFYLP, episode number 337, recorded July 7th, 2019. I am your host, Duran Land, aka Weird Wolf. Along with me this morning, or this afternoon, is Lucas Bockelman.
Hey.
Sean McGinnis.
Hello.
And Rick Alvarez.
The first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
23 years ago today, the NWO was born. Happy birthday.
I apologize for the intro video. Audio was like really low. I don't know why. Again, I had to disassemble my setup and bring it to the new apartment here, and this is really the first time I've actually got a chance to test it. So hopefully everything's working great. Hey, Carrie. Great to see that people's able to join us live for the first time in.
Oh, we're live.
Yeah.
This is not a pre-recorded.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while.
We're live.
All right, let me make sure I'm getting all the. Okay, yeah. We are streaming both to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So if you are watching live with us, you can comment live during the video stream, and we may mention your comment on air. Let me make sure we're getting shared out here. Lucas, you want to kind of give us a little hint at what we're going to be talking about tonight?
Yeah. So tonight I asked Ron if we could go ahead and do a show on Tf Expo, which Tf Expo is a local convention in Kansas City, Missouri, that's going to be coming up here in a few weeks on July 26th and 27th in Kansas City. So we've got a lot of fun things planned for that, and we'll kind of talk about that. And and then also I know Duran and Sean and I have all been to the show in the past, so we can probably talk about some of our favorite moments from the show in the past as well. And I don't think Rick, have you been to TF Expo before?
Why the hell am I on this episode? What is going on here? First of all, I didn't even get an invitation to go to this convention. And number two, y'all have already been to this show, and I haven't. I will say, though, I am going to the Godzilla convention next weekend in Chicago.
Oh, G-Fest?
I am going to G-Fest, which is where TFCon was held last year in Chicago. So I did get an invitation to go to that.
I wouldn't mind going to something like that, but
usually I bring a suitcase inside of another suitcase for, when I buy stuff. This time I think I'm just taking a carry-on.
A carry-on. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine there'll be stuff for me to buy there. I'm just
so Rick,
marketing thing.
I do want to let.
I don't want to be paid. I just want to, I want to be treated.
Wait, you want
nice.
You want to be paid? Okay, so what we can do is we can maybe throw in like a sandwich or something like that from the from the hotel, but not like a new one. Just like
sandwich hotels don't work, man. Sandwich hotels don't work.
He wants some hookers and blow
because it's all lettuce. They don't put enough meat on it. I need some protein.
I'm sure you do.
That's what she said.
Speaking of protein, a lot of people ask me what's on my summer reading list. And when you work as little as I do, every day is summer.
So that's what her name is this summer.
I had a book here, but now I'm not going to show it.
Uh-oh. It's a little black book?
It is black.
All right. Let's get into the.
Let me start off here, since I'm the one asshole who hasn't been to TF Expo. Lucas, I'll direct my wrath at you. What is the history of TF Expo? When does this start? How long has the convention been going? Who's the person in charge of this event?
Okay, so the convention is, I believe it's in its 9th year. And so traditionally for the first 7 years, it was held in Wichita. And that's when Duran had went as well. And then last year, they made the decision to move it from Wichita to Kansas City. And so at that point, that's where I started getting involved. So prior to that, I was an attendee of the show. But then last year, they needed some additional people to help out in Kansas City. And so I worked as a volunteer this last year. And then this year, I went ahead and joined on as an organizer to help them out. So I'm help them out as much as I can. I'm not one of, I'm not the main guy or anything.
So
not like Sean used to be,
Definitely not like I used to be.
That's not what you said before we went on the air. Throwing you under the bus here.
So what can you expect if you've never been to this show? And I'll throw this out to everyone. What do you expect going into the show? What are the events there?
So I mean, there's a little bit of everything. So it's a relatively small show. So it's not, if you come expecting that it's going to be TFCon, it's not that. I would say that I don't know how many attendees are at TFCon, but I would say that our show's probably, maybe like a quarter to a half the size of TFCon. So we would have, kind of similar to TFCon if people have been there, or BotCon, where there, we have guests, we have, panels, we have a dealer room, and then we have, other things going on. What we try to do though, with the show is we really try to give everyone a good, unique experience. So depending on what you want to do, so you could be someone that all you want to do is go to the dealer room and all that. We have a basic, ticket for that, all the way up to if you want to spend a night with, one of our guests having dinner with them, we have a ticket price
Wait a minute.
for that as well.
Yeah, it almost sounded like you said if you want to spend a night with one of our guests, it's like, did you okay this with them?
So yeah, not quite that. Yeah. So,
Not that intimate. Okay.
No,
It's
not
intimate,
that-
but
not
not
that
that
It's,
intimate.
it's not an intimate setting in that way.
So you're saying,
There's the chance.
all right, so you're saying that TFCon, which really right now is the pinnacle of Transformer shows, right?
Hmm.
This is a quarter of that or a nugget of that. I mean, are you going to have like a customizing class like you do at TFCon?
Yes.
And then as far as like exclusive, because a lot of retailers bring exclusives to TFCon. So, they have, Masterpiece figures and Generations figures that are repaints that you can only get at TFCon. So in the grand scheme of things, is this like just like local people, or do you like, is like David K gonna fly out to TF Expo?
Actually, he has.
Yeah, we have had David K in the past, and Duran actually got to meet and interview him. That was in 2016?
I wanted to say it's 2016. Yeah, it's the first time we had him on the show, and then. Well, actually, Carrie, Transformers New Fan, says on YouTube, said she would. She's been, I think she went last year, and she compares it to like Pete's Robocon or DairyCon in size right now. I would say it's a little bit bigger than that, actually, because I've not been to a DairyCon, but I went to the first Pete's Robocon, and TF Expo was way bigger than that, in my opinion.
Well, I don't think anyone wants to go to a robot con, especially if you name it after yourself. No one should go to that.
But yeah, so Rick, we do have a customizing class. So typically, the show is going to be over the space of 2 days, Friday and Saturday. So Friday afternoon will be the customizing class. And so we actually, this year is going to be the Moss Toys skiff is going to be the base figure for that. And then what we did with that is we actually had a couple sets of custom stickers that were designed by Toy Hacks and to put on the figure. And then we also got some custom heads designed as well. And Duran, I don't know if do you have pictures of all that?
Yeah, actually.
Remind me of who Skiff was again.
It was like Bumblebee.
Cybertronian Bumblebee.
Right.
Let's-
From like the first episode.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see these on the live stream, Lucas, but I'm starting with the first few images you shared.
Okay.
And I guess let's just go through those first.
So we'll just go through that. So the first thing that we're doing this image up here is this is for our trading guard tournament. And so similar to, I know TFCon had a room as well for the tournament, but ours is a little more associated with the show. And so what we're doing is we're going to have a room open for open play and then also for demos. So like for people that play the game, or if there's new people that like, hey, I've never played this game in my life, but I kind of want to check it out because it's Transformers and I just want to see what's going on. We will have demos running all day for people to learn how to play the game. In addition to that, we're also going to have a turbo tournament. And what that is you'll be able to get 2 packs of cards. And so the packs retail for like $4 a piece. So the buy-in is $8. And so you'll get 2 packs. And then when you open those 2 packs, those are the cards you get to play with for that tournament. So it's a quick, kind of tournament. Like we're not doing like a full scale tournament or whatever. But then with that, we're going to have prizes for the top 3 winners. And so that'll be, some figures from this show or from the prior show. And then, some, potentially other items as well for that tournament. So I think that's going to be a really good opportunity for people to, I just got into the game myself. And I haven't really played that much, but it's a lot of fun. It's similar to Magic, but it's a little bit dumbed down, I guess. Like it's a little bit quicker than Magic. And so it's, I think it's a lot of fun. So that's kind of one of the first things we're going to do. That's going to be on Saturday. So that'll be all day Saturday. And then we haven't announced yet when that tournament's going to be, but that'll be at some point Saturday.
All right.
So are there, about how many dealers would you say?
I'm trying to think for last year. Did we have, can't remember off the top of my head. I believe it was like somewhere around like 20 dealers total that we had. And so we have a lot of good stuff. I mean, we have a lot of vintage dealers. We also have some local dealers. So AJ's Toy Chest is one of them from St. Louis that he deals in some of the newer stuff. But then
does Captured Prey attend this event?
Captured Prey has in the past. I don't believe that they're going to be able to make it this year. But yeah, they have in the past.
Aren't they one of our sponsors?
Yes, but there's more to that. So.
God damn it, Ron! I just gave you the opening for you to do the sponsorship thing.
We'll talk about that later.
So it's roughly around 20 dealers or so, but there's a lot of the dealers are really good. Similar dealers to TFCon, like we have a few guys that set up at both spots. We also have some local dealers that, don't do TFCon, that deal with a lot of vintage G1, also, a lot of newer stuff. And then we're also going to have a few dealers that are going to have, your masterpiece and third party and all that type of thing too. So, I would say, I got some stuff there last year at a couple of the dealers that, some interesting, unique vintage stuff that I didn't see at TFCon. So I think the dealer room is really nice for the size of the show.
I wasn't disappointed the years that I went. So
now
we also have artists.
That's a good amount of time to keep something going.
I was going to say, we also have artists as well. So we do have a few artist tables for local Transformers artists as well.
All right. I'm going to share the next slide here, which is the guests. And I don't know why it's off center on my screen here, but I don't know how to fix that.
It's the new setup.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. I just scrunched it over. All right. Can you see that on the live screen on the live view?
Yeah, you can see it. Yep.
Okay.
So again, like, with our show, we have 3 different featured guests this year. So one of our featured guests is Dan Gilvezan, who is the voice of G1 Bumblebee, and then also quite a few other Transformers characters as well. And he did TF Expo a few years ago in Wichita. But then we decided this year, with the success of the Bumblebee movie and all that,
and Spider-Man.
and Spider-Man, yeah. So he was also the voice of Spider-Man as well. That we would bring him to Kansas City, so those people that are attending in Kansas City that couldn't make it in Wichita several years ago are able to meet him and all that. So he'll be doing a panel and all that too.
If I were to meet Dan Gilvezan again, I'd put the bug in his ear that some way, somehow, in the next Into the Spider-Verse movie, they have to do a crossover with Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Like, they have to bring that Spider-Man in.
Oh, that would be cool.
Definitely.
But the thing that I really like about TF Expo again is okay, so I went to TFCon in LA, right? And Dan Gilvezan was probably the most popular voice actor that was there, as far as like with the lines. And he had a line that went half the convention or whatever, that was like 100 people deep or whatever, trying to get autographs and all that. And so, like, you couldn't even really talk to the guy. He was just sitting there trying, I didn't stand in the line, but I'm sure that, you couldn't really devote as much time as what he would like to talking to each convention goer when he was doing the signings. And so that's the thing that's really nice about TF Expo is that because it's a smaller show, there's going to be a line at the very beginning as the show opens and everything to get autographs. But for the most part, you can sit there, during the show and have a conversation with Dan and actually, talk to them, which I think is really cool. And as I had mentioned before, that we do have packages. So we have a dinner that we do. And I think that this is something that's a little bit different. Some of the other shows is we will do a dinner with a script reading on Saturday night after the show. And so if you want to go ahead and go to that dinner, you can go to the dinner. It's either part of one of the packages that we do, or you can buy it separately for $40 to go to the dinner, and as a catered dinner with barbecue and everything, that you can sit there, listen to the script reading and all that. And if you pay, there's certain packages that we have where you can sit at the same table as Dan, or with our other guests, to be able to talk to him and have dinner and all that type of thing. So I think that that's something for me personally, when I started attending the show several years ago, that's where I thought was the coolest thing about the show, because I think that is a unique experience that I have not gotten at, when I go to Planet Comic-Con or I go to some of these bigger conventions, that I'm not
you get
able
a more
to
one-on-one, more opportunity for one-on-one with the guests and stuff. It's like we talked about whenever SlagaCon was going. It was one of the great things that all the years that I went to SlagaCon and TF Expo, the guests were right there, very approachable, and because of the small size of the show, you didn't have hundreds, if not thousands, of people trying to get their autographs throughout the day. There would be lulls and times where they would just be sitting there and you could just walk up and chat to them for 15, 20 minutes or more. And, as a fan, that is like invaluable. I mean, you get to know the person a little bit more. They get to know you. You become more memorable to them. Essentially, it's more than just a passing face.
It's always a lot of fun too when they're staying at the hotel where the convention's at, and you catch them at the bar and they're sitting down and you're having a few beers with them. So at TFCon last Chicago, I was talking with Colin, and then Alec Willows comes up and sat there for a few hours with Alec Willows, drinking a few beers, and it was the greatest thing.
Well, there's always that. There's another guest besides Dan Gilvezan. You want to talk about the other two?
Yeah, so the other voice actor guest that we're going to be doing is John Bailey. So he's known as the Epic Voice Guy on YouTube. But then he also, for the recent Bumblebee movie, he was involved with that. And so he was the voice of Soundwave and Shockwave in the new Bumblebee movie as well. So he's had a lot of experiences with that. And so I've enjoyed kind of hearing some of his panels as he talked about his experiences working on that movie and everything like that. So I think that he's going to be, a really fun, add to the show as well. And he's of course a big Transformers fan as well, going back for a long time.
So it's kind of like a double sword for him. He's a guest, but he also gets to attend a Transformers convention. So
right.
And he's been to shows before he hit it even bigger, while he was still doing the trailers and stuff, the honest trailers. He's been to a few shows before. I think he was at TFCon North Carolina.
He was also.
He just showed up, and somebody just said, "Yeah, oh, he was there. That's the guy." And I'm like, "Where?" And I didn't get a chance to meet him then. Not until he was on the show. So, are you guys going to be doing a live podcast from Tf Expo?
I believe that we will. We're still trying to work out some of the details for that to find out what time we can do it and try and get that all synced up with our schedule. But we would like to do it. And also, Anna is also in Kansas City as well. So she'll be at the show. And so hopefully we can kind of get things worked out to where, the two of us can be on.
It's always a lot of fun having a few people together in the same room. I'm still thinking about doing Rick's Robot Revolution show, where it's going to be here at my house, right? I'm going to set up a dealer table upstairs. It's going to be very exclusive. Very, very exclusive. I'm not inviting
I thought you said you don't sell anything, Rick.
I know. I'm not inviting anyone to the show. It's just me. I'm setting up a dealer table upstairs.
And he's naming the show after himself.
Right. It's going to be Rick Rick's. I'm double naming it after me. Rick Rick's Robot Revolutionary Expose. So and nobody's invited. But I will post pics of me at the convention and then the line waiting for pre-rag.
It's basically
so far only one person's pre-rag.
It's basically him just photoshopped 100 times in a line.
It's
in different poses.
Right. So far only one guy's pre-ragged. But I'll make sure to post pics and we're gonna do tours of the basement.
Make sure you set up a table outside the dealer room as a special guest table.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a bar stool and I'm going to pay one of my kids to be asleep there with a security shirt on, so people can just go in and out.
We got one more guest that's also announced for the show.
Yeah, and so last but not least, so what we try to do is we try to have a good mix. In the past, we've had some writers and voice actors and all that, but additionally, we're going to have Alex Milne, who is an IDW artist, who's worked on a ton of Transformers books. He was one of the main guys working on More Than Meets the Eye, and then also the recent Unicron book as well. So he was the artist, penciler for all those, inker. So he will be in attendance as well. So and hopefully we can see that he should be doing a panel kind of on his experience with the IDW comics.
Isn't Virgil from IDW from that area? From not IDW, WWE.
I don't know.
He's from that area,
sure.
right?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
It's not a show unless Virgil from WWE is there.
Okay.
Uninvited, actually.
He just sets up a table. He just shows up and sets up a table.
Picks a random open table and puts his stuff down.
All
So,
right. So let's move on here to the.
So let me just ask you real quick: is the skiff the only exclusive?
Well, that's what we're.
No, we actually have other.
Oh, okay.
We're
all right.
trying to move this along here, Rick.
I'm jumping the gun here.
Yeah.
Speaking of guns, the first picture.
So this is one of our exclusives, and so this is a little Target Master guy, custom Target Master. So this is his name is Expo Master, and very creative name, of course.
You sure his name's not Pete?
So yeah, but this is the guy too. So we actually this has a custom printed and custom painted gun barrel, and then the figure as well is custom as well. So
and this
all these figures are 100% custom painted from the original.
Kind of looks like he's got like
I believe the person who produces these don't we?
Yeah, so we have there's one of the organizers in the group has to painstakingly hand paint and sand all of these figures. So these are actually relatively limited. So this particular figure here is part of our premium and our ultra packages. So both of those packages will get it. So, and that's the one where you get it's included with the dinner. There's a T-shirt with it. You get the show. You get a bunch of autographs and all that. But then in addition to that, what we try to do is for each different level of the ticket packages that you do, you get a small exclusive as well. So we don't do TFCon. I know does these like $100 exclusives or whatever. All of these are.
It's not produced by them though. That's
right.
That's from dealers or companies.
Right.
This is made by the organizers.
Right. This is made by So what we do is we have some designers that work with us, and so we work with them to get them produced, and then all the painting is done by us, by one of the organizers.
Hey, what's the name of Paul's show that he does at his house?
Paul Fremel? It's PFCon.
PFCon.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some crossover there that can happen.
Yeah, no, I saw the exclusives that Paul made for his, and I was like, oh, those are really neat. So we may have to, potentially work with him for next year and see if you'd have any interest. So we'll see.
Okay.
I think he gets the stuff from Trent Troop at the Octavia Forge.
Mm-hmm.
Produces some of those pieces.
Yeah, we've worked with Trent in the past as well.
Yeah, Trent's good people.
The next image that we have is, I believe, Skiff here.
Yeah, so that is the Moss Toy Skiff, and so what the idea is for this year, again, that is with a custom head, and so you have your choice of 3 different custom heads. So you get your choice of one of them, whichever one is your favorite, and then there's a sticker set with that. So then if you're not familiar with the Moss Toy Skiff figure, there you go. Yeah, so those are the three different heads that you can pick, and then the sticker sets that go along with it.
Looks like a Bumble Jumper, a Cheetor, and a Armada Hotshot.
Wow.
head.
Yeah, that's right.
That's actually pretty cool. So all three heads comes with the skiff?
No, you get your choice of one of the three.
Okay.
So it'd be kind of, like I know BotCon did this before with like the Ratchet and some of the other figures where it's like, all right, you get to pick this one or this one, kind of thing. So it comes with the heads in the sticker set, and then what you get to do is you can customize the figure however you want. So we're going in the class, we'll be teaching people some different techniques for customizing, like dry brushing, panel lining, painting. So we'll have all of the materials on hand at the customizing class. And then however you want to do the figure yourself to make it unique, then you can do it. So the one that we had for showing the pictures, that was an example of what you could do.
That's actually pretty cool. I'd like to have a little hot shot from the skiff. I think that probably works the best.
Actually, out of all those three, I'm surprised. I think the Hot Shot looks. I mean, the other two look great too, but the Hot Shot looks amazing. I mean, just it's got that goofy little smile and everything.
It's got something of like a GoBots vibe to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's neat. And so you can still, like with the head, you can still put the old head on it as well, if you prefer to do that. But I think that that skiff figure is a pretty good, just because there honestly wasn't a lot of paint on the figure to begin with, and so you can kind of make the the figure your own, with that.
Or you can send it to Sean and have him like dry brush it and customize it some, because he's got lots of spare time now.
Right?
No. Let's not.
Right.
So it looks like you have a Titan Master here. With
in Erector colors.
That is that is our Pretender, our take on Pretender Bumblebee. And so this is exclusive to the Ultra package. And so, it's a very limited amount of these that will be produced. But on the actual Pretender shell itself, there's some custom paint to make it look like the Pretender shell for Bumblebee. And then with that, we had Trent made a custom head with that we were able to. Sorry, kind of flipping through the photos. But yeah, so that's a custom headmaster that we had made, interchanged it with the one that had come with the figure itself. And so then you can have that custom Bumblebee head that you can put on him or on anything.
What I like about this is it's got the G1 cartoon Bumblebee head, with the horns and the face, but it's still got the like silver back like the toy did. So that's great. And then,
I think it turned out really well.
Will this fit on Skiff? Is Skiff turned into a headmaster, or it just fit with other Titan returns?
This will just fit with other Titan returns. The Skiff is on the head joints a little bit different.
Okay, I didn't know if that had been customized into something else, or
that would be nice.
All right, and here he is, I guess, in Target Master mode.
Yeah.
And there's the back of the head. I like that.
So then he can be a little Target Master as well. So yeah, I think the thing with our with the exclusives, like I shared them in a couple of the different Facebook groups, and there's been some people that have commented that have been upset because they thought the figures looked really cool and they wanted them, but they aren't going to be able to make it to the show. And so I was like, well, I guess we did something right. If the figures are good enough that people are upset that they can't get their hands on it because they can't come to the show, that it seems like we did okay.
It makes it more special for the people that go.
Right. Yeah, and again, I mean, these are very, very
Because there's
limited.
no mail away package, right?
Right. Yeah, and I mean, again, these are 100% custom done, custom designed, custom made, custom painted. And so, unfortunately, we just don't have the resources to be able to, make 100 of them or 200 or whatever. That they're pretty limited.
So you've got a dealer room that's got a fair amount of dealers. You got cosplay contests. You got the trading card game turbo contest. You have the custom workshop with the skiff figure. You have exclusive figures. You have Dan Gilvezan. You have Alex Milne, and you have John Bailey. Sounds like it's a full, great show here. For the audio listeners, you want to tell them when and where?
Yeah, so again, this is going to be at in Kansas City. It's actually a little bit outside of Kansas City, but it's right out the highway at the Stony Creek Inn and Hotel. It's on July 26th and 27th. So for the most part, typically the Friday night we'll have like a preview of the dealer room that'll be open for a couple hours. And then for the most part, most of the show is going to be going on Saturday. So we haven't posted a final schedule yet. But it'll be, most of the day Saturday, we have, live panels going on. And then we'll have the dinner after that. So, and then the custom classes on Friday afternoon as well. So
now you say just outside of Kansas City, Missouri. This is not like St. Charles was to Chicago, right? Where it was like an hour outside of town, and they still called it Chicago.
So last year we had the show at a hotel called Adams Mark, which is right on the east side of Kansas City. We had a few issues with the hotel in general, so we decided to move it. So the new hotel, which is the Stony Creek the Stony Creek Hotel and Conference Center, it's a much newer, nicer hotel. It's actually right by the Bass Pro Shop, so there's actually a lot of things to do like around the show. But it's like 5 minutes down the road from where the old one was.
All right, so if you're going to the show, what is the definitive place that you have to go eat?
Kansas City is known for the barbecue. Our dinner Saturday night is going to be barbecue too, but I would say any of the, local barbecue places are, some of the best one to go to. So, Joe's Kansas City is a good place. The Jack Stack is always a good place. Arthur Bryant's, Gates, so those are all barbecue restaurants. I would say in addition to that, there's a really good sandwich shop downtown now called The Local Pig. That is a really it's hint, butcher shop and all that.
You had me at pig.
Yeah. So I don't know, Sean. What would you say? As far as for Kansas City, what would you say would be the definitive some of the places to eat?
I would say if you're interested in barbecue, get on Yelp. Everybody has Yelp. Get on Yelp and read some reviews. Plan out your trip because not everybody has the same taste of barbecue. There's vinegar-based barbecue, and then there's tomato-based, and
which is this might be an ignorant question. What is the St. Louis style barbecue? Is that the vinegar or is that the dry rub?
So St. Louis style barbecue, there's not really a St. Louis style barbecue. That's really more the ribs. So what they did is the pork spare ribs, they trimmed them up a little bit more. And so those are St. Louis style ribs. But I would say Kansas City barbecue is kind of an amalgamation of all the different barbecues. So again, like Sean was saying is that, you can get some of the North Carolina style, Texas style, Memphis style, all in Kansas City. I would say the traditional, like more vinegar based, is kind of the traditional Kansas City, but there's a lot of places that have like kind of the sweeter style as well. And the American Royal is held, which is like the largest barbecue contest in the U.S. is actually held in Kansas City. So from that, like a lot of the local places like have won the show, and then they'll go on and start a new barbecue restaurant. So there is literally, I don't know. I don't know how many barbecue places are in Kansas City, but probably like 100. Everyone has their favorite. So if you ask me what my favorite is and someone else, like they're going to say two different things.
I'm going to stir the pot here because, and maybe Sean might want to jump in on this. Headmaster Don was going to be with us today, and unfortunately, because of no AC at his place, he had to take himself and Massey to where they could get AC today. But he said he's from Lexington, North Carolina, and he wants to try this best KC barbecue, in quotation marks.
So I will say, Ron,
I think Gates I don't like Gates. I think it's nasty. But people love Gates. So it all depends on your taste. I mean, if you like a vinegar based, do you like runny barbecue sauce? Do you like thick barbecue sauce? Do you like your
just so I understand what your point of view is, what is your preferred style, Sean?
My preferred style is where it's not overcooked and dried out. It's got to be, kind of blackened, charred on the outside, juicy and tender on the inside, fall off the bone ribs, kind of a sweet barbecue. And I'm lucky enough that my wife actually makes good barbecue, so we really don't buy barbecue out. We usually eat it at home. Or there's a place down the street. There's a place in Oak Grove. It's called KC Baby Back Ribs, and that's really good. So.
And see, that's the other thing, Rick, is like around us, like there is a zillion places to buy like the barbecue cuts or whatever. Like I can go buy a whole brisket to put on the smoker. I can buy the ribs. I can buy it like just every grocery store or whatever. Every grocery store has rubs from all the different places and has barbecue sauce from all the different places. And so, yeah, like a lot of us, like it's like a lot of people in Kansas City have their own smokers and make their own barbecue. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Like I will say, to Don's point though, is I've been to Texas, I've been to Memphis, I've been to North Carolina, I've had all the stuff. And I would say that I still personally like Kansas City best. I would say if I was going to rate the best barbecue that I've had outside of Kansas City, I think North Carolina might be it.
Oh, but you're just playing favorites here now. Come on.
Now, is it mustard based out in North Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what I kind of liked it because it was a little bit different. Like any of the places where I've had Kansas City barbecue. Or that same style, like outside of Kansas City, it's just not as good to me, like I've had better in Kansas
It's
City.
like a Philly cheesesteak. I'm from Philadelphia. You can only get a real Philly cheesesteak in Philly.
Don says vinegar based, and he misspelled vinegar.
Ooh, a side of kofefe?
Coffee? Coffee? Just...
I'm thinking of taking my families to the Revolutionary War airfields as a nice historical trip for them.
Well, before we go into some other random chat here, there's something that you also want to reveal here, and I'm going to share here on the browser. I'm going to let you take it away here, Lucas.
Yeah, so I decided we decided, I should say, for the show that we would do a special exclusive reveal. We'll be sharing it on Facebook, later on here in a couple days. But we decided we wanted to go ahead and show off the T-shirt design. And so, as you can see on screen here, this is the T-shirt for TF Expo 2019. And so, this is Bumblebee jumping out of his Pretender shell, kind of gold bug Bumblebee, whatnot. So
Oh, okay. I see the half gold bug head, and the rest of it's
Yeah.
kind of back up. Okay, yeah, that's neat.
yeah. So a couple years ago, we actually started getting involved. We have an artist that we're friends with, Damon Bat. I don't know if you guys know him or not.
Yes.
I know Damon.
Yep. So this is actually Damon's design. And so last year he did the design, which was Grimlock looking into the Perceptor microscope. And because from the guests that we had that year, which last year we had Greg Berger and Paul Eiding, and so he did this T-shirt where Grimlock was looking through the Perceptor.
There it is.
So that was
This is a little reminiscent of the Dreamwave image of Ultra Magnus, the white prime running through, and all the Ultra Magnus.
there you go.
Sean's
Sean's showing off the shirt from last year.
Oh gosh, Headmaster Don says Demon Bat equals Onyx Primal. Not Demon Brat. Damon.
Damon.
And it's funny you mention him because we were just talking NWO today, and he lives his life by that NWO code. Have you ever seen Damon outside without an NWO shirt on?
He was wearing one at TFCon a couple of years
Yeah.
ago. Whenever
Yeah. I'm trying to think when I saw him at TFCon. I think he was. So.
He, whenever he was NWO, he's NWO for life.
That's right. But yeah, so Damon is a fantastic artist, though, and so we've been really excited to be able to work with him and have him help us produce these designs. So I think that the t-shirts from a few years ago, were good, but I think that he's really kind of stepped up his game with that. So we have one of the organizers, Mike, he works with Damon to produce those shirts.
And you also have one more bit of information about the con to share.
Oh yeah, and then I almost forgot that for the TFYLP listeners, if you've made it this far, that we actually have an exclusive code for a discount for tickets for TF Expo for our listeners. So when you go to Eventbrite to book your tickets, if you use the code TFYLP, if you plug that into the coupon code, it will give you 10% off of your purchase for anything, any of the ticket packages. So again, that is TFYLP, all caps, and that's 10% off.
Awesome.
Excellent.
So yeah, so hopefully some of our listeners, I know last year Carrie was able to make it to the show, and I don't know if she'll be able to make it this year. I know she's all the way up in Chicago, so not necessarily expect to make it every year. But yeah, like
I'd love to be able to come because Wichita was like a 12-hour drive, 11 and a half, 12-hour drive from Louisville. So, KC's a little bit closer.
It's about an 8-hour drive for you.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why we moved it from Wichita to Kansas City, just because there's a lot of metros, Des Moines, Omaha, St. Louis, and then again, like you said, is there anyone else that's on the East Coast that that would be considering coming? People from Chicago or Louisville or whatnot. It's a little bit easier of a drive for them.
Plus, you're closer to a bigger airport too, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to fly into Kansas City than it is to fly, and that's what I know. Just booking the guests, and then also some of the other organizers were saying that they're in Florida now, and actually being able to make it up. It's a lot easier to fly into Kansas City than Wichita. So,
Headmaster Don saying they say Kansas isn't that big. No, it's not, but it's flat.
Kansas is pretty big. If you've ever driven across the state of Kansas, very flat, very big, very boring.
Lucas, is that moonshine you're drinking?
No, it's just water.
Lies.
I do not have custom moonshine.
There will be an episode of TFYLP After Hours that we'll do where we will all be drunk.
We need to do a shots game, like a drinking game on
goodness.
TFYLP After Hours.
Yeah, have you ever seen Thew does that where he'll do reviews and like do shots? So I think by the end he's done like 10 shots or something.
I mean, we totally need to do this. That way, we're all slurring our speech, and we're all sitting there on our phones, drunk texting people. So, anything new you guys have been into, or anything you found recently that? Oh, Red Wing.
Red Wing. So
Luke-
this is the
Lucas got his Red Wings this weekend.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I know what that means.
Pretty.
Okay, for everybody
excited.
that doesn't know what
You
that
walked-
means,
I'm surprised
walked right
it
in.
come from me.
So
Somebody else
yeah.
made that joke. That's wow. Step up.
But yeah, so this is the Target exclusive Red Wing that went up and sold out in like an hour.
So it is Target exclusive?
Well, I guess we don't know that yet, right? Like it went up on Target.
Target also has a street date on Springer of the 28th of July. So I went into Target the other day to buy my Springer, and they wouldn't sell it to me.
That's why you take something else, ring that up that's of equal value, and then put the Springer in the bag and leave the one that you ring up.
Walmart has been pretty easily
Yeah,
an easy place to get Springer.
I get mine at Walmart as well.
And then reflector.
Distribution in the I live on the forest moon of Endor here in the western woods of Massachusetts. So distribution
Moon of Endor.
is pretty bad.
Let's see here. Red Wing was supposed to be a red card exclusive, but was listed wrong. That's what Headmaster Don was saying.
Okay. Yeah, and I do have a red card that I used, but I know some other people got it that didn't have one. So, but yeah, I don't know. We don't know.
Huh?
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of exclusive or a lot of figures that we know about, but we don't actually know how they're coming out. Like, how's Skywarp coming out? Like, has it been confirmed as a Walgreens exclusive yet? Like, I don't think it's actually been confirmed.
Not
I
entirely
don't think
sure.
it's been confirmed anywhere.
And we've seen the box art for it, and that's about it.
We've seen that there's copies in hand. I know a few people that I've seen them on Facebook that have posted it.
So Red Wing isn't even listed on Target.com right now.
Yeah, the listing disappeared once it sold out. Because I saw it and I'm like, maybe. And I clicked on the link, and it was still available. And then whenever I decided, okay, I'm going to go ahead and make the plunge on this, I went back and it was gone. The listing was gone completely. So, yeah, it was in a very short window of time. So, anybody able to find the variant Micromaster, the new Micromasters with Blackjack?
No.
I know people who found it in New York, but not yet here in Massachusetts.
I was able to pick up because we had our local Kentucky Transformers meetup yesterday, and I was able to attend for the first time in months because of my work schedule. And Orson actually had several of the Micromaster sets, and he had a Brunt there, so I was able to pick up Brunt and that Micromaster set, but it was the actual one that is normal, so it's not the Swindler repainted black.
I need to look because I actually just picked them up last night and at Target, and they had quite a few, and I forgot to look to see what variant it was.
Tim Master Don said, variants. Oh no, it's Power of the Force all over again.
Oh God. Long sabers, short sabers, long trays, short trays. Man.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
And they're all
FCC
worth nothing today.
Yeah, I'm sure most people don't care. I mean,
So anything you want to wrap up with about TF Expo or any points you guys want to talk about real quick before we wrap?
TF Expo was a.
Go
Go ahead.
please.
No, proceed.
Well, as I said before we went live, I did read Transformers Ghostbusters #1. It's actually pretty good. It's really good. I highly recommend it.
I actually have the Star Trek versus Transformers trade paperback over here. I have not read yet, but
Yeah, don't bother with that one.
I've already got it. So
I couldn't get through that one. It's really hard getting through the new ongoing right now, which is why I do enjoy going back and rereading vintage IDW. The new ongoing, it's got a very prequel political vibe to it. It's a lot of talking and walking around.
yeah, Rick, I know we did a show of Micromasters on the first 4 issues of the comic, so we may actually have to revisit that here in a couple weeks. And if you're still reading the comic at that point, if you want to come on and give your thoughts as well, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I do like talking comics. I still get every cover. Like with Ghostbusters, I think I got 4 out of the 5 covers so far, and I'm trying to track down the other one.
I read the first 3 issues of the ongoing right now, and I was intrigued by the first couple issues, but by the 3rd issue, there's like really nothing going on. And I've got 3 other issues here that's sitting on my nightstand I have not even read yet, because it's like I don't even know if there's anything worth reading in them. But
Yeah, I don't know. I know Anna said that she actually liked it, but for me personally, it's like comparing it to More Than Meets the Eye. Like, I went back and read the first few More Than Meets the Eyes after I read that, because I was like, well, maybe I'm just not giving it a fair shake. And I went back and I was like, no, these are a lot better. Like, for me, at least. So I'm still getting the new comic myself, but I'm just not enjoying. I'm hoping it picks up.
yeah, Sean.
Yeah.
What was you getting ready to say, man?
Yeah, I think if you're within driving distance or have the ability to take time off work, TF Expo is a really fun convention. It's been called a I guess it's been compared to a early BotCon, because they do have the dinners and they have the script reading and guests and do their show and exclusive. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've been since 2013, and I usually bring my wife and whatever children want to go with us, and it's good for the whole family. It's a good time going around the dealer room.
It's a
and
smaller alternative to TF Con and larger shows like that.
Yeah, and there's plenty of stuff to look at the dealer room.
Yeah, you won't be bored.
You're not going to get bored.
Disappointed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not dragged on for 3 days, where by the time the third day is there, you're like, I've already seen everything. I already went through the dealer room. I want to go home. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would agree with that too. I mean, I started attending the show in 2015, and it's just like I thought it was really definitely a cool show, and that's part of the reason why when they asked me if I'd be willing to help out with the show, that I wanted to go ahead and do it, just to keep the show going and everything too, just because it's a really fun show, and I think it's worth, even though it's a smaller show. I know some people have went to some of the other smaller ones and said that they didn't quite think it was worth it, but I know we've gotten a lot of positive feedback, with the show itself. And, I think with, between the guests and the dealer room and all the different contests and fan stuff and all that you know,
Well,
I think
you also
there's-
have to understand too. A lot of people, and myself included, I'm not a big fan of the asses to elbows conventions. You know, where you see a table that you want to go up and peruse, but there's like 50 people surrounding it. You go to the smaller shows, you don't have to worry about that. I mean, you still have enough people there that are of like interest. They have the similar interests. You can hang out with them, get to meet them, get to know them a lot better. Like I said earlier, more hands-on with the or more interaction with the guests, more hands-on with customs. You don't feel rushed, and that is. And a lot of people sit there and talk about that like it's a negative thing. It's really not. It's really not. I mean, I've enjoyed every year I've went. I think I've been to, 3 so far? So I went to 2 in Wichita. No, I went to 3 in Wichita, I want to say.
Yeah. Yeah, you would have been going back when it was in Wichita, because Kansas City last year was the first year in Kansas City.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't get to go last year. So
I will say last year, the dealer room was pretty tight. Based on the space, and we sold out the dealer space as well. This year, we have a lot more space, so it's not going to be super, tight and crowded like it was last year. People the aisles are going to be a lot bigger and all that type of thing.
And it wasn't supposed to be, that tight last year. It was a mix-up.
Yeah. It wasn't a mix-up. It was the last minute. The hotel jerked us around and switched the room we were supposed to be in. So we were supposed to be in a larger room, and they switched it last minute. And so, unfortunately, and that's part of the reason why we're not doing it this year, because with them, just because we just had a bad experience, and everyone that gave us feedback said the show was great, the hotel wasn't, and so we made that change, and I think that this year people are going to be very happy with the hotel that we chose.
Awesome. All right, guys. I believe that'll wrap us up for this episode of TFYLP. It's actually great for me to be back. I know it's I have to kind of ease myself back into things. I'm still got a lot of crap going on. I'm still not even fully unpacked here. My collection's I still probably lack 2 or 3 totes worth of stuff to unpack. And it's just
oh no.
yeah.
Oh no. 3 totes.
Yeah.
Rachel's like, only 3?
I've been doing this for 3 years.
Well, there's a big difference here. But anyway, I've been busy with a lot of stuff, and I know that the audio version of the show has been behind. I did put up 2 new episodes this past weekend, so hopefully that'll tide people over till I can get a hold of the next 4 episodes. I didn't realize I was that far behind, but whenever you got crap going on, you fall behind rather quickly. But thanks everybody for joining us. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at TFYLP. And as always, if you love what we do here on TFYLP, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/TFYLP. Help support us each and every month because it does cost money to do this show. We do a exclusive Patreon episode at least a couple times a month called TFYLP After Hours. It's a full-length podcast from 30 minutes to an hour, and we pretty much just let loose. It's even more laid back than what the normal show is. We talk about Transformers, we talk about other geek stuff, Marvel, whatever. It's all open there. TFYLP After Hours, and it's only available if you give us a little bit of money each and every month, and it's just as little as $1. Just as little as $1 a month, you can have access to TFYLP After Hours, because each and every one of you that support us, thank you, and we wouldn't be here without you, quite frankly. Check out our sponsor, CapturePrey.com. Great toys, great prices, great service. CapturePrey.com. And Rick, what are you playing with?
Oh, I'm playing with my space worm.
Oh, it has teeth. We'll see you next time, everybody, on TFYLP. Good night.